Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day it is. Wow, just awesome. And with us today is Franz Boelter, speaking of awesome, from faribault Bethlehem Academy.
Well, I think you're overstating that a little bit, Gordy, but it is an awesome day. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to get to spend a little bit of time outside today, so I'm looking forward to that.
Isn't this awesome? The day.
Well, and it looks like we've got a string of days here that will give us the respite that we need after this 2 or 3 week below average temperature situation that we've been in. But we live in Minnesota, and we can always say if you don't like today, just hang around. Tomorrow will probably be different.
That's true. And then next Saturday, maybe you'll be lucky and it'll rain, because then people won't want to be outside and they'll come to the estate planning event you have coming up next Saturday.
You know, even if it's a nice day, it's early enough in the day that you'll have pretty much the whole day behind you.
Well, that's true.
And we should be able to wrap things up at by about 10:30. So, yeah, next Saturday, May 13th, from 8:30 to 10:30, in Bethlehem Academy in Van Orsel Auditorium, we're going to be holding our second biennial retirement and estate planning workshop, and we're very excited about it. When we did it 2 years ago, we didn't know exactly what to expect. We didn't know what kind of attendance we'd get, and we ended up with 50 attendees, which really doubled my expectations. And we're hoping for a good crowd again this year. And the biggest thing is it's free, and we're offering a service here where we're providing 3 experts that really represent the 3 corners of what should be your estate and retirement planning team. You need a good accountant, you need a good attorney, and you need a good financial planner. And we certainly have that in this team with Dave Baranek who's a CPA with Reese Winter and Associates, Kate Grinney, who's a financial planner with Edward Jones, and Debbie Corman, who's an attorney with Corman Law Offices. And then at the end, as we did 2 years ago, Dr. Dick Houston, who's a doctor of veterinary medicine, is going to provide closing remarks, just in terms of perspective and in sharing opportunities with others. Because I think one thing we forget about, Gordy, is that, well, probably a couple things have changed a lot, and if we've not prepared well for our retirement, we can really put ourselves in kind of a bad situation, not just for ourselves, but for our kids. And I just talked to somebody the other day who's been tied up in probate for 2 to 3 years already, and they still don't have things solved. And it's just a little bit different than it used to be. There's more to know. More is falling on our own responsibility in terms of planning, and these 3 are outstanding in each of their fields. And the nice thing is that they work together on so many people's estates and their planning and so on. And the first thing that they would tell you is that while each of them is an expert in their field, they're not an expert in each other's fields. They know a great deal about their partners' fields, but they need each other. And as retirees or people that are planning for retirement, people that are helping their parents to make retirement decisions, and young people are starting to plan earlier now too, Gordy. And when you do that, you just need to rely on some great resources, and I think that we've got 3 great people here to help people out.
Well, let's be honest, you need to start planning for this long before you get to be our age.
Well, the ideal thing is that as soon as you start working, you're putting money toward retirement. And it took me a couple years to realize that when I first started working, but fortunately I talked to some people that I think made a difference, and so you start doing that. And yet, Gordy, if I had known then what I know now, I would have done even more. I think that Cindy and I will be in a good position when we retire, but we could have been in a very, very favorable position had we done things probably a little bit differently, and hopefully that's what we're going to help people do.
Yeah, I think most of us are in that boat. So we're going to find out some more about this special event coming up next Saturday. Now, Franz didn't tell you, but a little birdie told me in the form of a piece of paper here that they're going to have free coffee, juice, and donuts too. So.
Well, you know, the thing that'll get people there is food.
Yeah, this is Minnesota, as you said.
A year ago we did a kind of a brunch breakfast at
I
the
gotta
end.
take a quick break.
This spring, whether it's in the shop or in the field, Harvey, Scott, and Seth are ready and able to get the job done. Backed up by some of the latest fabrication
Starting with a new
equipment, there
dentist
are very
today.
few parts that can't be
Dr.
fabricated and
Nick
installed
Navarro.
on your equipment. Give a call to Metal
Remember Nick?
Services at
Oh, yeah.
507-583-2144
Dentist in
or
Apple
stop in
Valley
and see
now.
them. The repair
Cool.
shop is located 2 blocks east of the Dairy Queen. That's Metal Services in Blooming Prairie at 507-583-2144.
Franz Boelter is with us. He is from Faribault Bethlehem Academy. He's an administrator there. He's also the volleyball coach, as folks know. And you know, you're talking about the teamwork that's provided here in financial planning, and it kind of ties in, doesn't it?
Well, it does, Gordy, and I think, you know, as things change, we find that teams are so important in all phases of our life, and it is extremely important that people establish a good financial team as early as possible, and you probably have to keep tweaking it as you go through your years, and you know, we've kind of helped each of our parents to find people that could help them, and ironically, we're kind of going to end up with all the same people here because Cindy's mom is not far away, my mom and dad are not far away, and so you're looking for good people that you can trust, and that's just going to be critical for all of us as we plan for our retirement years.
Yeah, it's very important. So we want people we can trust.
We do, you know, and one of the things too, Gordy, and you know, we can't hide behind this fact. You know, as people plan for their retirement, there are laws that benefit them and benefit charitable institutions. And certainly one of the things that we hope people can see as they are in this workshop is that if they make good decisions, they can make decisions that are a tremendous benefit to them and to their favorite charitable organizations. And sometimes we think, well, you know, if we give away our money, there are laws that kind of require you to give away your money, because if you don't give it away, you're going to pay the government instead. And so when you get a good team of people, they give you the best game plan in terms of doing that. And I can't, you know, sometimes people will call me and say, you know, what can you tell me about this and this and so on, and I'll say, you know what, I am not an expert in this field. I, like you, depend on people who are experts, but I can send you to the right people and tell you the type of people that you need to be talking with. And really, the triangle that you need is an accountant, an attorney, and a financial planner. And especially if those people know each other and they can work together, I think that's a huge benefit, because you're getting the same information, and you're getting all of the information by including all three of those people.
And you got good ones here.
Yeah, I think that if you talk to people in town, people know who Debbie Corman is. They know who Kate Grinney is. They know who Dave Baranek is. They're people that have been in the community for a long time. And in the case of people like Debbie and Kate, not only have they been in the community for a long time, but they had a parent who was doing the same thing in front of them. And so they learned from a parent, and so they kind of get that added extra years of experience on their resume because of what they learned from their parent going through things. But they've been at it for a long time now too. You know, Debbie's been an attorney for a long time, and her specialty is real estate and estate planning and that type of thing. And Kate learned from her father Mike, and Dave has been an accountant in town for years and years, and people know him and trust him, and I think we always want to work with people that we know and we trust.
Now, we were chatting a bit off the air, and I was telling you I still don't have I probably shouldn't say this because then somebody will knock me off here, but I don't have a will finished yet, and I don't have kids or anything, but I should still probably have a will. But you said the will probably isn't as important as you might think it is.
Well, it's important, but it's probably not the most important thing anymore. Debbie and I were talking the other day because we had a will done years ago, and we've said now for about the last 10 years that we need to get in and revise it. And our kids are all adults now; they're in their 30s, and we need to take another look at it. And our attorney was Gene Crosby. Gene's retired, and now we need to get our will and get it to Debbie. And when I told Debbie that, she said, you know what you're going to find? She said, we'll certainly, we're going to look at your will, but it's not going to be the most important thing. There are so many other things that go into it. And, you know, so the topics that they're going to talk about this year are Minnesota estate tax, the federal estate tax, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, will versus revocable trust, versus POD, TOD, and I'll have to tell you, Gordy, I don't know what POD and TOD are. I'm going to be an attendee at this workshop.
That's a transfer on death.
I believe you're right. No. And long-term care, charitable giving that can benefit not only you, but also your preferred institutions like Bethlehem Academy. And then Social Security. You know, Social Security is that albatross that we don't know for sure what's going to happen, and I don't know if anybody can tell us for sure.
Right.
But there are things that we can do to prepare for adjustments in Social Security. You know, one of the things that, having just turned 65 in February, I'm now on Medicare Part A, and I've applied for Medicare Part B. And as soon as I have my Part B, then I'm going to buy the supplements that go with it. And you know, you hear just on the news this morning as they talk about new health care nationally, and we don't know what that's going to result in, but are there going to be changes in Medicaid and Medicare and so on and so forth? And we have to prepare for possible changes and put ourselves in the best position possible. And hopefully this workshop will help people to move in that direction. And if they can't, and we're going to really try to give as much time as possible for questions and answers. The first time that we did it, we got rave reviews for the workshop, but one of the recommendations was maybe don't cover as many topics, cover fewer topics, and allow more time for questions and answers and so on. So we're going to move in that direction. But even with that said, in a 2-hour workshop, I think what you learn as much as anything is that you learn, okay, I have some questions that I need to know more about. Here are 3 people that I can maybe go to, and if it's not them, you know, it doesn't have to be these 3. There are great attorneys and financial planners and accountants all over the city of Faribault and elsewhere, but those are the people that you need to be talking to if you want the best answers.
Yeah, because if you've got a lot of questions, it tells you you better get cracking.
Exactly. And I think that if all of us are honest, we probably do have some questions.
And that's the whole idea behind this, to educate people, and obviously you'd like them to consider anyway gifts to Bethlehem Academy. That's why you're doing this.
Certainly. We hope that that's a byproduct of what goes on. But we should mention too, Gordy, that if people are interested in attending this workshop, and again it's Saturday, May 13th, 8:30 to 10:30 up at BA, they need to RSVP just so we have enough packets ready. Their names will be on the packets and so on, and they can RSVP by calling me at 507-210-0993. Really, it's a local cell phone number, so if you just remember 210-0993. They could also just call the school office and have them pass the information. All I need to know is their name and that they're attending, or if they want to email me at fboelter@bacards.org, fboelter@bacards.org. But we do need an RSVP prior to, and we'd like them by Tuesday, May 9th, simply because we have to start. We've got a number of handouts and different things that we're going to give people, and we need to know how many to get ready.
No, there's no obligation here. There's just a free workshop.
No obligation whatsoever. We may put a bucket out if people want to throw some money in just to defray the expenses of the event, but there is no obligation to do that. This is intended to be a free service, and that's what we want to offer.
No, again, free coffee, juice, and donuts.
Yeah, you bet. You and I might not want to eat a lot of the donuts, but because we're trying to get on that downward slide, and we're making progress. So anyway, it'll be a fun day, and we have a lot going on up at BA. This is also we're in the last less than 2 months of our annual fund drive, and we're at about 80% right now, and so it's an attainable amount. What we need is people who want to support Bethlehem Academy to not worry about how much some people say, well, I can only give $100 and you've got thousands of dollars that you need to raise. I had a friend who was in advancement for years, and his phrase that he often talked about was, if you give a little bit often, that makes a big difference. And if you have a lot of people that are doing that, that makes a big difference. Certainly right now, one thing that would help, if there's a matching donor out there, if there's somebody who's thinking about, I wonder what I could do, and they could provide a $10,000 matching gift right now, that would be awesome. And then everybody else just needs to contribute what they're able to. The fiscal year ends for us June 30th. So people have done a great job of supporting us, but the annual fund is absolutely critical in terms of us meeting our expenses and our obligations, and so that we can make up the difference between what we charge for tuition and what the actual cost is in terms of educating a child at VA.
What is the difference?
It's about a $2,000 difference, Gordy, and we can keep it where it is as long as people continue to help out, just in the same way that maybe they were helped out at some time in their life, or at some time while they were a student at Bethlehem Academy. If you want to make a difference in the lives of young people, and we always talk, you and I, Gordy, about what a great community this is in terms of educational diversity. There's something for everybody that is the best fit for them in this community, and we have our niche. And if you believe in a faith-based education that really prepares kids for college, and you want a small school environment, certainly Bethlehem Academy is a good choice for you.
You just recently celebrated your sesquicentennial.
We did. It's already been 2 years. Hard to believe. When we get to next school year, we'll be working on year 153. And I think anytime something has longevity, Gordy, that means that there's great value in it. It's withstood the test of time. It's gone through very difficult, challenging times, and certainly in 152 plus years, Bethlehem Academy has been challenged many times. In the case of a private school, a parochial school, you're pretty well challenged every year. You can't raise taxes. You depend on the volunteerism of a lot of people, the generosity of a lot of people, and obviously for 152 years, between God's grace and the generosity of our benefactors, we've been able to keep this thing going.
Yeah, all started right around the Civil War.
Exactly. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Which is hard to believe.
It's really hard to believe. 1865 was our first year.
But they could be thinking, about the future, smack dab in the middle of, well, I guess that's toward the end of the Civil War.
Yeah, but it was a different time, and the first Bethlehem Academy was down along the river, on the other side of Willow, toward the river, in a house, and then things just grew from there.
So it was down by the riverside.
Down by the riverside, absolutely.
Oh, darn. Mike Eiler just poked his head in and did not like my saying that.
I hope he's not complaining about your singing, Gordy.
I wasn't singing. Was I singing?
Well, just a little bit. I thought you did just fine.
Okay. It was down by the riverside.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a song.
It is.
Singing around the campfire all the time. Speaking of that, as long as we got a few extra minutes, are you going on the bike ride again this year?
Yes. Our Smart Challenge ride is August 10th through the 12th. And this year's ride will be about a 215-mile, 3-day trip. The first day is going to take us down to Lake Louise State Park in just right near Leroy, Minnesota. And it's a beautiful state park. Probably not a lot of people know about it. It's very serene. We camp each night, so we'll be camping there the first night. That first day is the longest day. It's an 82-mile trip.
There are no mosquitoes?
There are absolutely no mosquitoes, if you prepare properly. And then the second day, we will go over to State Park over in Albert Lea, and that'll be about a 65-mile day. And we're actually going to dip down into our neighboring state of Iowa to find the best route between Lake Louise and Albert Lea. We needed to do that. That's where the best roads were for at least part of the route. And then the last day we will go from Albert Lea and take kind of a northeast and then northwest route to get back to Faribault. And it's just a tremendous tremendous experience, Gordy. This will be the 5th year that I think I've done it, and I'm excited about spending time with those people again. It's a great group of people working for a real tremendous cause, and the cause that we're supporting on the Smart Ride is additional financial assistance for students and families who might not otherwise be able to attend VA. And the amount has grown each year. The first year was just a trial run by 2 people, raised $3,000. And over the last 4 years, we've raised almost $250,000. Last year, we were right around $120,000. And it's a testament to people's support for something that they believe in, both the people who are donating and the people who are participating. And it's a fun time. And I always say this, Gordy, anybody can do this with a little proper training and a good set of wheels. And we have people of all ages. We have people in their 20s all the way to people in their 70s that are participating in this. And it's quite an experience. So if you're interested in doing that, contact me and let me know. We all need to get started training here. The weather hasn't been real conducive to that lately, and I need to get pedaling here. In fact, I hope to do some pedaling before the day is over. So the weather's turning, and there's nothing more relaxing than being out on a bike.
You could pedal every day this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Today,
we're in a good stretch.
Tomorrow,
and I think it goes into next week too.
Yep.
So off we go.
The forecast is fantastic for pedaling.
Absolutely.
So again, I'm going to give that phone number again if people are interested in getting involved in
Yeah, people that are interested in that retirement planning and estate planning workshop, Saturday, May 13th, 8:30 to 10:30 at BA. Call me to RSVP. It's free. It's a tremendous service, and you can call me at 507-210-0993, or you can email me at fboelter, FBOELTER, at bacards.org. And all I need is your name and acknowledgement that you're coming, and we'll have a packet ready for you.
So when you go on this bike trip, do you stop at places to eat, or do you carry food with you, or what do you do?
A little bit of both, Gordy. We try to have a water food break every 10 to 15 miles. And it really breaks the trip up well. So it's not like I've got to ride 82 miles nonstop or 65 miles nonstop. You break it up, and we always take an extended lunch break, and we plan that out in terms of where we're going to do that. We plan out all our stops, and we have a great support staff. This year we hope to have 3 vehicles that are taking care of us.
So if you have a flat tire or something, they can help you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it happens. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first year that I went was when we had the most. We had 7 of them the first year. And one person had 3 in an hour.
Oh, my.
We had to figure out why that was happening. And I got taken care of. In fact, it was Father Kevin Finnegan.
Oh, no.
But we got it all worked out. We always encourage people to bring extra inner tubes. But the last couple of years we haven't had as many. But we always, if you have that many people over that many miles, you're going to get some flat tires.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So, the first day you said Lake Louise.
Lake Louise.
Then you dive into Iowa. Where you're probably going to have a cornfeed, I would guess.
Well, we could, but we're going to keep going. We've got a couple of great stops. Each day we've got some great stops that people are really going to enjoy. And then we'll get over to, and I'm just drawing a blank right now, Gordy, on the state park in
Albert Lee.
Yeah, it's again a very, very nice park, and people will enjoy it a great deal. And then we'll get up to BA on the last day. So
you've done different routes on this every year, right?
Well, it's called a Smart Ride, SMART, and what that stands for is Southern Minnesota Alternating Route Tour.
Well, I thought it had something to do with a smartphone, but no.
Well, or the smart people, but we just talk smart. That's all. We just talk smart. I don't know how smart we are, but we talk smart. But we haven't done the same route yet. But I think we want to probably get into a point where we alternate and rotate routes. It's really hard to plan a route where you're going to go 65 to 85 miles each day, and you have to get back to BA on the 3rd day, and you got to have a place where you can stay. There's showers, and you can tent and so on. So it's not easy to do. We've even talked about doing a remote tour where we would just go up north to a campground, and we would go out each day in different directions from that campground and do it there. But there's something kind of nice about starting and ending at BA too. So we'll look at different things as the years go on, but whatever we do, it's going to be fun, and it's going to benefit the students at Bethlehem Academy.
And that's the bottom line. So again, the special event, the workshop, which is absolutely free. I want to emphasize that. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free expert advice from 3 of the heavy hitters here in town and in their field.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Gordy.
And it's free.
It is free. There's no charge. And it's 2 hours on a Saturday morning, and we're done at 10:30, and you have the rest of the day to enjoy great weather.
So it doesn't cost you anything, folks. You get some expert advice, and as Franz mentioned, they will take questions at this event next Saturday.
A lot of questions, and hopefully really help people in terms of their planning for the future.
8:30 to 10:30, you have very comfortable theater seating there by an hour or so.
Well, we have the theater seating, but we also, if you've noticed, our game chairs. Those are very cushioned chairs, and the first however many people that get there, they'll get those cushion chairs, and then we'll put the other people into the theater seating right behind them. So you'll be comfortable, no doubt about it. You're going to get a back on your chair, and anytime you want to get up and grab something to drink or grab a donut, you can just go over and do that, and you won't miss a thing.
Free coffee,
it's all right there.
Juice, and donuts. You can have the chocolate, the glaze.
Yeah, we'll probably have some muffins in there too, you know. But,
blueberry?
In fact, if there's anybody out there among our supporters, if you'd be willing to put a couple of dozen muffins together or some type of breakfast pastry, we'd be welcome to have you donate that. We'd certainly welcome that help.
That sounds good. So again, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, Franz.
All right, thank you so much, Gordy.
I think this really hits right into the heart of many of our listeners.
Yeah,
here.
it really
We're in
does.
the same boat I am in terms of getting ready for the golden years.
The golden years, absolutely. Every year, the next year is the best year, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Every year's a gift. Every day is a gift.
Every day is a gift.
Every hour, every minute, every second is a gift.
Well said.
I don't know about that. But you were talking earlier, you know, a beach is made of little pebbles of sand.
Yeah.
So even if it's just a little amount that they can donate to whatever cause it is, all these little amounts go into big things.
You bet. Small doses repeated often reap big benefits.
That's right. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota Monday. It's interesting. May is Bike Month, so we're going to be talking about that on Monday on AM Minnesota. You're in tune to KDHL AM, Faribault, Minnesota.